Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We are gonna have a heart-to-heart. I am not going to show you any titles in this video. I'm gonna talk to you strictly about some subjects that are on my mind that I wanna get out on video to you about the crypto market and where we stand. We're gonna cover Ripple, we're gonna cover regulation, and all sorts of things in this quick video. Let's start with Ripple. The SEC versus Ripple lawsuit has been going on for 2 years, 7 months, whatever days, whatever hours, right? The judge probably has already made up her mind what's gonna happen here. What are we waiting on? Probably Fed now, okay? It's impossible to have an instant payment system without your DLT infrastructure partner, which is Ripple. Ripple has been working with the federal government way back before 2014, okay? The Faster Payments Task Force, the Nacha Task Force, there's so many different task forces that Ripple's been on, and they're the only blockchain infrastructure company in those meetings for those years. It's 9 years that they've been working, 8 to 9 years, they've been working with the Federal Reserve and federal government on the upgrading the payment system inside of the US, okay? FedNow is a domestic payment system. It's not an international system, but you can upgrade the FedNow system to do international payments, but it's not there yet, all right? But how are banks gonna have instant settlement without XRP? I don't know. That is a question I would love somebody to ask in one of these meetings when they're talking or asking questions to the FedNow team or whoever's on the FedNow. How are you gonna do this without Ripple? Because they're not gonna use XDC, they're not gonna use Quant, they're not gonna use any of that stuff. Ripple is a blockchain infrastructure company in America, and that's why Ripple has stayed in America, all right? That 95% of Ripple's business is now outside of the US. And what does that do for the US? It puts them at a disadvantage. If the rest of the world can use Ripple's technology, they can use ODL, they can use XRP for cross-border payments, for remittances, for whatever they want, right? Treasury management, CBDCs, whatever it is, they can use Ripple's technology to do that, right? Now, if the US doesn't have access to their blockchain infrastructure company, what are they gonna do? They're not gonna go talk to XDC because XDC is out of Singapore. They're not going, I mean, I guess they could approach Quant, but it's too late already for that, wouldn't you think? The system has been built. All of the internal components, right? Or the internal public-private partnerships, right? You have ACI worldwide, you have Temenos, you have Volante, right? And you have Finastra. All of those systems are hooked up inside of the FedNow. And all those systems are Ripple partners. How does this work without your golden shining knight Ripple? Probably doesn't. So will we have a decision soon? I think we have to, right? Because how do you have the system when you don't have clarity? The US is working on 2 bills right now, blockchain infrastructure bill and a stablecoin bill. Anytime a country is rolling out legislation, they do a stablecoin legislation first. And that's because they need a wholesale CBDC. If you're not familiar with what a wholesale or retail CBDC is, let me explain. A wholesale CBDC is for the government to use on internal payments, right? So let's say they're sending stimulus money to another country, probably the wrong word, stimulus money, but foreign aid help, that kind of things, right? Or their internal CBDC system for the United States government or whatever country that is, right? So they can process transactions internally instantaneously if they so choose to. But then when you move into a retail CBDC, that is for people like me and you and for businesses, right? B2B, person to person, that is what a retail CBDC is for. And you've seen one launch in India, you've seen one launch in China, and they're starting to pop up all over the place now. You are seeing test pilots being done in multiple countries with Ripple. So Ripple put out a tweet the other day, and they talked about Brazil working on a CBDC. And it's funny because Ripple has actually been working with the Brazilian government for quite some time. They actually had to get permission from the Brazilian government to form partnerships inside of Brazil. And so they have Pix and they have one of the largest bank in Brazil. I can't remember the name, I do apologize, but they do have a partnership with that bank. And I do think Ripple is going to be working on the Brazilian CBDC. Just my opinion, it's not yet fact. But you do have Hong Kong that just announced working with Ripple and tokenizing assets, right? You are getting countries upgrading their laws so DLT and cryptocurrency can move flawlessly over borders without issue, okay? The UK has a markets and infrastructure bill as well that has gone through 3 readings in their Congress or their House of Lords. And so what you want to understand is that once that bill gets signed into law by the king, you are going to have a massive amount of people understanding that finally the government is starting to use crypto to move value, right? And really, what happens when that happens, right? What do banks do when countries say, hey, we're turning it on full steam, let's go. The payment system is open. Let's rock and roll. What do you think is going to happen there? You're going to have FOMO on an institutional level. We've never seen FOMO on an institutional level. It really is, you're going to have banks, you're going to have institutions, you're going to have people, all of them wanting to buy these assets that governments are going to use on a massive scale, right? Because governments and banks, they're not stupid. They've seen all the testing. They know more than we do. Do you think banks are going to sit on the side and say, you know what, that XRP technology, you know what, we don't want instant payments. We don't want to save 60, 80, 70, 90%. We don't want to have full transparency over our treasury. That's not for us, guys. That bank's going to be out of business in a couple years, right? That bank is not going to survive. So banks are going to want to hold crypto. And this leads me to my next point. Some crypto assets are going to be tier 1 assets. What's a tier 1 asset? Gold, treasury bonds, certain stocks. Those are tier 1 assets that banks hold on to back up deposits, okay? And banks need to hold a certain part in reserves, right, in case a black swan event happens. And that's Basel III framework going into Basel IV framework. And they're trying to change some things inside of Basel so banks can hold digital assets as collateral, as a backup to back those deposits up. Something like XRP is going to be a tier 1 asset. There's no doubt about it in my mind. And banks will be able to hold XRP, right? They're going to be using it on a daily basis, thousands and thousands of times a day. Do you think they're not going to want to hold some of that? Of course they're going to want to hold some of that. Banks are not stupid. They're there to make money, guys. They're there to make money. So the 4 assets I think that are going to really, really take off and that I think that are going to be called tier 1 assets, I think it's going to be XRP, XDC, Quant, and XLM. Those are the 4 I think that are going to have much bigger impact across the whole world than some of these other crypto projects. And that's why on this channel, I talk about those assets a lot. I talk about XRP more because I think XRP is a lottery ticket. I really do, guys. We go to the liquor store and we buy a lottery ticket and we're like, man, what would I buy if this happened? But we're really living in a fantasy world. But this is not a fantasy. This is reality. And if you've done the research, if you have the conviction to study, to grind, to understand what these banks are using, you are going to use that information and you're going to change your life forever. Right now, you're never going to get another shot at this. This is the most important time of your life. If you want to change your life, if you want to get up out of whatever situation that you're in, it doesn't matter if you have 500 XRP, 1,000 XRP, 10,000 XRP, whatever it is, guys, that XRP is going to be worth a lot of money one day soon. All right. And it's like a lottery ticket. It really is. And that's how I see it. Also, when you have regulation coming in, right? You have MICA coming in the European zone. You have now the UK and the US working on bills. In 2024, you're going to have almost the G7s of the world or the G20s of the world. They're going to have crypto regulation. You already have some stuff in India, and India is the president of the G20 right now. They're working on regulation. Switzerland, UAE, Dubai, all these different places are going to have proper regulation. They already have regulation, but it's going to spread to the whole world, right? A lot of the world waits for the US or the UK to set policy, and then what they do is they copy that policy, and so money can flow across borders in a seamless manner. So it's the most important time of your life, right? Your kid's born, you adopt a dog. Those are incredible moments in your life, and probably the kid's more important than money, obviously, but after the kid comes money, right? Comes security. If you're not extremely wealthy, you know how hard it is to live paycheck to paycheck or not have enough money in the bank to do what you want to do. But you can change that by just researching, understanding what's going to happen here. There's going to be a tidal wave of money, trillions of dollars that are going to come into the crypto market over the next couple years, right? DeFi is just at its infancy. It's going to explode into something truly incredible. Banks are going to want to use this stuff, right? The derivatives market alone is $600 trillion to $1 quadrillion, guys. $600 trillion to $1 quadrillion. If that value is going to be added to ledgers, right? Or DLT infrastructures, it could be some HBAR, but I do think XRP is going to see a lot of that volume. No. Only you can sit down and study. Nobody can force you into anything. You need to listen to what I'm saying. You only are going to get one shot at this. I know you see XRP at 50 cents and you see XLM at 8 cents and you see Quant at $90. That is before all of the institutional FOMO. Once the institutional FOMO shows up, guys, it is going to be over. You're never going to see prices like this for some of these assets because banks are going to buy as much as they want. Okay, please, I beg you, do that research, understand what's going on around you, because you can take advantage of this incredible situation that is really only going to happen once. Probably not going to happen in your kid's lifetime, right? You'll pass away, leave your whatever crypto to your kids. I mean, I'll probably got another maybe 10, 20 years on this planet. I don't know. I've had a lot of health problems in my life, and so I'm just trying to spread the word and get information out, but you really only going to get one shot at this. Once banks start using XRP, your time is over. Once banks start using Quant, XLM, your time is over. You're never going to see prices like this, okay? It's not going to be like, hey, XRP is going to go up to 10 bucks, then come back down to 50 cents. No, once XRP starts rallying past $1, guys, it's not coming back. It's not coming back because banks around the world are ready to use the technology. The banks around the world are already using the technology. Why is the price not gone anywhere? A lot of people think that the price of some assets are being held back, especially XRP. We really don't know, guys, but the fact of the matter is banks have tested all of this technology for years. Banks are ready to use this technology on a massive scale. And when that happens, everything is going to change if you're holding the right assets. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening to my rant here. I just wanted to get some of this out. I know when I go through some things on my computer, I really can't just sit here and talk to you one-on-one. And I think it's really important that we all understand wow, what an exciting time it is. I know the market's been crap for a year and a half, but I'm still excited about our future and where we're going with all of this digital revolution. You can change your life forever. Just spend a little bit of time on that research. If you have trouble researching, find a group of people that you can join and start gathering information. I run a community called Cryptonaires. In the last bull market, we were at like 2,000 people. We've gone way down since then because a lot of people left the market. But if you're still here, if you're still watching and you want a good community to join and start learning this stuff, I will take your knowledge and I will supercharge it. I do 2 chats a week. They're about an hour and a half to 2 hours each chat. I cover anywhere from 70 to 100 different pieces of crypto news. We talk about CBDCs, we talk about regulation, we can talk about different digital assets that are being used. We talk about new projects we're investing in. There's nodes. We talk about so many different things. And if you just watch those chats per week, and that's 4 hours a week or 3 to 4 hours a week, if you watch those 2 chats, you will have a ton of more information to make better decisions. I am not a financial advisor. I am a hardworking individual that gets hyper-focused on stuff, and I can't let it go because I know how important this is. I've spent tens of thousands of hours researching crypto. That's all I do, guys. All I do all day long. I can help you if you want it. Link down in the description, Cryptonaires. We'd love to have you in the community. Thank you for listening to me ramble here. If you are excited about digital assets and where we're going, please leave a comment down below. I check every comment. I try to delete all of the bad comments from scammers. I do apologize about scammers, guys. I can't help that. So I'm trying my best, but I'll never ask you to contact me on WhatsApp or Telegram, okay? Maybe Twitter, my official Twitter, but that's about it, all right? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.